If you're taking the LSAT in June or August, you're actually in one of the best possible positions. Why? Because it sets you up to apply at the very beginning of the cycle in the fall. This is when there are more spots available, you've got better odds of getting in, and there's more scholarship money available as well. And of course, the LSAT isn't just about getting into law school, it's about getting in without crushing debt. Schools are most generous early in the cycle because that's when they have the most seats available and the most money available to hand out. If you can apply in September or early October with a strong LSAT score, you're in the sweet spot. That's what June and August LSAT takers can do. Now let's talk about the test itself. The LSAT has changed a lot over the past few years. Logic games are totally off the test. Students would spend a huge percentage of their study time diagramming rules and memorizing different game types, and that's all over. Now the LSAT is just two things: 2 sections of logical reasoning and 1 section of reading comp. If you want to win at the new LSAT, you've got to be excellent at those 2 sections. That's where every single point now comes from. So the first thing you want to do is take a real full-length LSAT under real test conditions. No music, no snacks, no phone, just you and the test. This is your baseline. It is your starting point. Why? Because it gives you a clear picture of your current strengths and weaknesses. You're going to find out where you're running out of time, which question types confuse you, and where you're guessing. Don't skip this step. If you guess blindly at your weak areas, you're going to be wasting valuable time. The diagnostic shows you exactly where to focus. Then you want to focus hard on logical reasoning. This section is 2/3 of your score, and it's also the most learnable part of the test. It rewards strategy, so you want to start with the high frequency, high yield question types like necessary assumption, inference, and flaw. These show up several times on every single test, and the LSAT is first and foremost a test of pattern recognition. Once you understand how they write wrong answers, you're going to spot the trap choices faster and you'll get more accurate. Then you want to make sure, of course, that you're not ignoring reading comp. Most students do, and that is a huge mistake. Your reading comp can be improved, contrary to what many say. It's just different from what you're used to. Of course, you're not reading here for fun. You're not reading to memorize every single word. You're reading to understand the structure. You want to train yourself to spot the author's point of view, how the paragraph fits into the argument, and what's being said, and of course, what's not being said. Now here's one easy drill you could try out today. After reading each paragraph, pause. Summarize it in your own words, then ask yourself, how does this connect to the previous paragraph? That one habit alone will make dense passages feel way more manageable. Then, once you've got the basics down in both logical reasoning and reading comp, you want to start adding time pressure. Here's the progression you could try out. First, you do untimed drills, then you do individual timed passages, then you graduate to full timed sections, and finally cap it off with full-length timed practice tests. This will allow you to quickly find out whether your biggest issue is accuracy or pacing. If you're running out of time with 5 questions left, that is not a knowledge problem, it's a pacing problem, and that is totally fixable. You've just got to get the reps down under real test conditions. Then you want to get into a regular rhythm of taking full timed exams on a weekly basis, at least 1 per week, maybe 2 if you've got more time in your schedule, again, under real test day conditions. This is not just for exposure to the material, it's for building up your stamina. The LSAT is long and it's mentally draining. You've got to train your brain to stay sharp for several hours at a time. Of course, the magic isn't just in taking tests, it's in reviewing them. Most people look at what they got wrong, but that's not enough. You've also got to look at what you guessed on, even if you got it right, because it just as easily could have gone the other way. You want to look at what you got right for the wrong reasons altogether if you totally misunderstood it but got lucky. And of course, you want to look at what felt hard or took too long, even if you eventually solved it. That's where your biggest growth comes from. Make sure that you don't skip this part. And after you take your test, use that post-test window wisely. You're going to have a couple weeks between taking the test and getting your scores back. Most students waste this time, and don't let that be you. Instead, work on your personal statement and your other essays, update your resume, and draft any addenda, like an addenda for a low GPA or a test day score drop, because you want to be totally 100% ready to send in your application the second your score comes back, especially if you're taking the LSAT in August or beyond. Now, when schools get your application early and it looks strong to boot, you're going to stand out. It's not like in October or November where they're swimming in apps. In September, your file might be only one of a dozen or so on the table, so you're going to get more attention and more consideration, and that translates into more scholarship money. And that is how people win in law school admissions, not just getting in, but getting in with options.